2, nigga. 45. Yeah. It's not over. It's not over. No. I thought it was, man. But it's not over. Nope. Calm it down, man.
It's the THEMOSHOWCHICAGO, and we are back in the basement again on this terrific Thursday morning. How are you all doing today? If this is your first time watching the THEMOSHOW, I ask that you share the information with relatives, friends, co-workers, anybody that you come into contact with. I promise you it is a terrific way to jumpstart your conversation with someone that you know or don't know. And today's conversation just happens to be a very serious one because it is about how do we end racism in America. Well, that is a real tough question, seeing that America was built and is rooted upon and in racism. Here it is, you have ethnicities of different people, the great melting pot here in North America in which we live, at this present time have an election coming up. Just so happens this happens to be one of the important elections that America has ever had. And in this election, even the moderator, whom is going to be moderating their last debate within the next couple of days, should ask the question, how do either one of them plan to end racism in America? It's sad. But in order to do that, just from my spectrum, because I want to know yours, but just from my spectrum, I feel that racism can end or must end, or the only way that it will end is to rid the mindset of white supremacy in which this country was built upon. Then you have the education, curriculum, lies being told all to the children, lies being taught all to the children. And the children can go right online and look at just the opposite of what you teach them or have taught them. And you wonder why the educational system is failing. You wonder why the children are rejecting your strategy or your way of education, because your lies are uncovered. This is the year 2020, perfect vision, the year that the veil is lifted, right? Okay, well, if the veil is lifted and your mind is conscious, you should make a conscious thought on which party that you vote for. Because as we've seen in the past, neither party has your best interest at hand. And neither party is working to end racism. Hell, they want to starve you out anyway. How do we end racism? Do you think that if racism ended in America, that this would be a better country to live in? Granted, you got your liberals and you got your conservatives. The conservatives want the same old jolly thing. Keep it going. Oppression, depression, and suppression. Liberals, well, they have been known to be scam artists or deceitful people. Say that they're going to do this or think that way with the people. And under the table, just as the same, as a conservative would do, the outcome is the same. The mindset has to change. This is the year, this is the age of information. Every ethnicity that lives in the U.S. are tired of the white supremacy, rulership. And if you think I'm lying, just look at all of the people that has come out for Black Lives Matter. They were just not black people. They were people from all in the country. They're tired of it. Even with law enforcement. Remember, law enforcement is the mindset of the people who rule the country. They are the mindset of the people who rule the country, because they're governed by their rules and regulations. which is to oppress, suppress, and depress, right? I'm just saying. We have to get rid of racism in America. America is on the brink of destruction. America is on the brink of destruction. Not to mention the fact that you have politicians who want to starve you out. We have children that are growing up 2 generations away from us, 3 generations, in the making. Whom are we leaving them in the care of in regards to politics or political figures? Whom are we leaving them in the care of? What kind of mess are we leaving with these children to deal with? I'm just saying. What do you think? How do you think racism will end? Or how do you think it should end? How do you think racism should end? What would be some of the ideas and answers that you have? Even when it comes to religion, you have whatever religion you are in, whether it's Catholic, Christian, Hindu, Jewish, or Islam, right? It's all a form of segregation. If you don't read this book, well, we can't mess with you. If you don't read that book, we can't mess with you. If you don't go to this school, we can't mess with you. If you live in this particular neighborhood, we can't mess with you. The whole political system, the caste system in which this is built upon, is racism. It's built upon racism. Every day you turn on the TV, it's racism. You go to the school, it's racism. You look at the economy, it's racism. It's racism. If it's not racism, check this out. If it's not racism, how is it that all of the little people on the bottom, which is the 90%, why are they always broke? They even working to cut out the middle class and just make it an elite class and a poor class. What's with the classes? These are the mind games that they have played with our heads. These are the culture. This is the culture in which America teach Americans. Even when you have immigrants that come over, they give immigrants a book, that they go by and read. And in that book, it tells them who to stay away from. If anybody tells me that I'm lying, you will have to prove me wrong. Because anybody who knows what I'm talking about know that I'm not lying. And it will be in your best interest. If you don't know, don't say I'm lying until you research it yourself. When immigrants come here, they tell immigrants in the book and in their classes who to stay away from. I'm not lying. How do we end racism in America? Are either one of these candidates going to promise you that? Are either one of the candidates going to work with American citizens on that? That should be a great topic. That should be a key question in the next 2 days with these candidates who are running to rule America. They're both in their 70s. One is in their late 70s. One is in their mid 70s. Here it is, you have young children or new frame of thought thinkers that's in their 40s, 30s, and 20s. New thought thinkers that can't get a chance. They can't get a chance. Why? Because white supremacy in America. In fact, America wasn't even named after a white man. It was named after a black man, but the rulership is white supremacy. Do your research. America was named after a black man, yet it is ruled under white supremacy. Do your homework. But the question remains, how do you think? I've given you my spectrum. Like I said, the whole system, the mindset has got to change with the political figures, 1. 2 would be the education curriculum. 3, Religion, well, you can't tell anybody what not to worship. You know, it's their own form of religion. But I just find that religion is a form of racism and segregation. That's just real talk. And economics, socially, I mean, children, if adults pay close attention to children, they can learn a lot of things. In fact, I want to tip my hat to the children, because the children seem to have more sense than the adults who run this place, okay? Because children don't see color. As long as the children are not tainted with white supremacy or bigotry, because some homes, there are homes in America who in this year teach their children hate. It's sad but true. But when you go to school and you find these little children in elementary school, they are different than the adult because they see no color. They just see you as a person, whether they like you or not. It's not based upon your color. Take any children or child, a section of a children with no outside influence, and place them in the classroom, and you'll see how they get along. They're smarter than we are, but we are the adults. How do we end racism in America? And what are your political parties who's running for election 2020 have to say about that, and what strategies that they may have to help end it? We cannot go into this next year with law enforcement continuously shooting black people. We can't do that. We can't do that. Whom are we leaving our children in the custody of once we leave this planet? Are we going to leave them to people who drink blood? People who make children sacrifices? Are we going to leave them with the same old, you fit the description, get against the wall? Are we going to leave them with the same old, you get more time for a crime because you're black? Are we going to leave them with that? Are we going to leave them with the thought of history in the educational curriculum that blacks never contributed anything to the advancement of civilization, when it was black people who birthed civilization? I'm just saying. Even in your neighborhoods, you know, you live in this neighborhood, we can't mess with you. Oh, get out of that neighborhood. It's, you know, oh, don't go over there. Oh, what are you doing over here? Do you live over here? Do you know anybody in this neighborhood? Why are you over here at this hour? Let me see your ID. You see? Do you think that racism will end in America? Seeing that it is rooted in America and the seeds were sown and still are here in the year 2020, when you have all ethnicities of a people having children by other nationalities of people, do you still think that white supremacy is the answer to this country when this country is on the brink of destruction? I'm just saying. What do your political candidates have to say about that? What do you have to say about that? And what are some of the ways that you can help rid racism in America? I would really like to know that. Please, by all means, leave your feedback in the comment section. Your opinions and answers and solutions are very important, and those I will discuss in my next video. Thanks for viewing. Press that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Tell your friends, family, co-workers, share the information. Remember, it is your third eye that makes you shine like jewelry. Thanks for viewing.
2, nigga. 45. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not over. It's not over. No. I thought it was, man. But it's not over. Yeah. 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 Calm it down, man.